Good afternoon, and welcome to our Monday episode of the Monday Noontide. I'm Heidi Thompson with Lifeguarding Legacies, your legacy lifeguard for estate planning, offering wills and trusts. And today I have the joy of featuring my friend Julie J. Doyle. She commonly called by her friends Julie J. She is with Fairway Mortgage, and I know her through my women's group, women's support resource group of Scottsdale. And I am so excited to have Julie here with me today. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you so much, Heidi. This is so much fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. So tell me about yourself, Julie.
Okay, so I have lived here in Arizona since 1995, originally from Michigan. And I'm married. Chris and I have been married 10 years. We're married on New Year's Eve under a blue moon. So, you can imagine where the jokes go with that. And we have an 18-month-old son, and my 81-year-old mom lives with us. So we have a sandwich household, and it is fun and crazy and wonderful.
Oh, I love that. So I know that you're with Fairway Mortgage. What an exciting industry to be in right now. Tell me about it.
Yes. So yeah, I've been doing a residential mortgage lending for 22 years. I've been with Fairway for 9 of those. And they're a great company. They're the second largest privately held mortgage company in the United States. And that doesn't mean most to most people, but we sell directly to Fannie and Freddie. There's no middlemen. So you also don't get passed along. When you deal with me, you deal directly with me through the entire process. So it
Nice.
is crazy busy. Inventory on houses are low and everybody wants to buy. And of course, if you're not buying, you're refinancing to either just take advantage of the nice low interest rates, or so many people are taking cash out to remodel their own homes. They love their homes and decided that's where they want to stay. So it's just time to spruce it up. So it's busy and crazy and wonderful. I love it.
Well, and this year especially, people are home more, so they're not taking the vacation so that money can go in the house. It's a perfect time for those
Absolutely. Yeah.
projects.
And if
Yeah.
anyone's like I am, we've been home, we've been using our house more, and I notice all the little things that I didn't notice before. I've got a laundry list of stuff for the handyman to do, and I'm like, oh, we should remodel this, we should do that, because you're living in your home versus just sleeping there or eating there. So yeah, I think everybody's having the similar experience.
And with the interest rate so low too, anyone that has that outstanding debt, this is just a great time to get those payments down. And
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely. And there's so many talking heads. And I say, don't listen to the talking heads, listen to your local professional. Not just because I'm a local professional, but we really have a pulse on what's going on. And it's funny because I hear people go, oh, rates are fine. They're going to go up. They're going to go down. Like, people don't know. It's like, yeah, we know. If we watch the market, we know. And the most common thing that's being said is, oh, everybody who's refinanced that's going to refinance is done. Well, there's actually $20 billion of people who could take advantage of these low rates that still haven't tapped in. So there's plenty of business out there to be had. That's for sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and like many of us, you don't have just one thing you do. You're a busy lady,
Yeah.
and you have an additional stream of income through another business. Tell me about that one.
Right. So I actually am a personal stylist for a designer out of LA. I help women wardrobe themselves for their life, whatever their life looks like. And really what I get to do is I get to help women feel good and confident about themselves wherever they are in their walk of life. Retired, working, young mom, mom of teens, mom of kids that have left the nest. And it's really a lot of fun. I started purchasing this particular line of clothing myself as a professional in 2006, and was asked, oh, you should do this. You should really help women do this. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm busy. Like, I'm a professional. Like, but as you say, most people that are making it happen are making it happen in different areas.
Seven.
And yeah, yeah,
Seven
right,
streams of income for the richest 1% in our nation have seven
right.
streams of income. So if we're only doing one, that's
We're definitely not on the right path. Yeah. So it's been great because it's definitely been, I have revenue from that, but it's a lot of fun. And I still get to use both sides of my brains in both
great.
businesses. I get to be creative. I get to use, that number brain. And it's a lot of fun. And I've met some amazing women through my personal stylist business with CABI that I would have met no other way. And they've been a real blessing. So I love doing both. And
And I know in my
keep
women's
trouble.
group, so many of the women in our group are classier because of you. you.
Well, thank you.
You definitely help put things together, and you've even talked about your ability to help people pack because so many of the things coordinate differently.
Yes, yeah. So I'm a huge proponent of carry-on packing. For instance, my husband and I, before kids, we did a almost 2-week trip in Napa, and I did that with a carry-on, being able to mix and match the clothes with just because we had to keep the suitcases under the plane for the wine that we were bringing back. So I had to have clothes and just a carry on. So yeah,
That's important.
yeah. And then, and I helped one woman last year, in the fall. She went to Barcelona and she wanted to do it with a carry on. Her husband's like, no, we are not taking heavy. So we wardrobed her for just Barcelona. Of course, she comes home and wears the clothes here, but it worked out really well. They were able to do 12 days Barcelona with just a carry on. So
That
it's,
is
yeah,
fantastic.
it's a lot of fun. Yep.
That's great. So, and I know you've got a heart for people and for our community and for your faith and for women. Like you're just one of those people I just love to be around because you're always sharing your
Thank you.
heart. And one of you had a couple charities that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so there's one that I find that when I talk about it, people haven't really heard of it, and it's called Save the Storks, and it's this amazing nationwide charity foundation. And what they do is they convert vans into mobile medical centers, essentially into ultrasound centers, and they're real clean and safe and comfortable, and they park outside of abortion clinics, and they're really low key. It's not the 1980s with people out there with signs and screaming and that kind of thing. It's just an alternative for women who are considering an abortion to actually get a free ultrasound, to see the baby's heartbeat, hear the baby's heartbeat, and have access to information other than just what the abortion clinics are giving them. So, the majority of abortion clinics are set up in poor neighborhoods and in African American neighborhoods. And so what a lot of people don't know is to every one non-African American abortion, there's 200 African American abortions. Um,
200.
200 to every one. Yeah, it's a pretty intense. And so those clinics, they don't have and won't typically give a ultrasound. So these mobile units show up in communities all over the country, and in a very loving, open way. Would you like an ultrasound before or after you go in? And the women that take them up on it, the majority of them choose not to have an abortion. Once you can see your baby and hear that heartbeat, and you're told that there's other options, and that may be the first time you've been told that, that there's another
Sure.
option, that most of the women decide not to have the abortion. And then they give them the options of, do you want to parent? Do you want to explore adoption? And if you want to parent, they set them up with organizations that will help these women parent. They may not have support of family or friends or whatever, so they put them in that direction. And if you they set you up with adoption agencies that are going to really help walk you through that pregnancy, which is really important. And that's the other charity that's really important to us. Here locally in Phoenix, we actually used Christian Family Care to adopt our own son, who was 18 months as of yesterday. And so we adopted him at birth here locally in Arizona. And this is a great Christian organization. We interviewed a bunch of different adoption agencies. And what we loved about them is the entire time they were talking about how they were going to take care of the birth mom or the birth mom and birth dad through the pregnancy, and really walk them through it before and even after, give them counseling. And they gave us a lot of education. We thought we knew a lot about adoption in our own education, and we have family that's adopted. And they really gave us more of an education, and they've been a huge blessing for us. And so we love referring people to them. And what's great is that here in the state of Arizona, those state tax credits that people talk about, you can donate $1,000 to Christian Family Care, and that takes $1,000 directly off of your state income tax responsibility. So you talk to a CPA, but there's all sorts of ways. If you're one who's like, well, I always get money back from the state, you can lower your deductions during the year, and then make that $1,000 donation, and reduce, what you owe and what you get back. And there's all sorts of ways to do
Dollar
it.
for
And I
dollar
just,
tax credit. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a really great way to support people who have been called to adopt, and it
Right.
can be expensive. So it's just, yeah, two really great charities that we put our beliefs and our money and our time behind.
And that's really personal to me too. I was born in 1970, just months before Roe v. Wade would have made it legal for me to have not been born.
Right.
And I feel and adopted into a family that gave me every opportunity and loved me. And I, I can talk the joys of adoption all day long as the adoptee in a family where I was wanted and loved. And
Yeah,
and I know firsthand from the other side, the adoptor.
absolutely.
And I'm so glad we share that commonality. And I'm so grateful for people like you who put your time and money and resources into making sure that these kids have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much that you can find out on the internet, right? You could figure out how to honestly do surgery. Like,
Sure.
there's so much you can find out. The hardest thing on the internet is to figure out how to adopt. There's so much different information. Each state is different. There's misinformation. So I think that is just really valuable. The more real information we can get out there about adoption, I think the better for the kids,
Oh,
kids now and kids
100%.
later. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Julie, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, what
Mhm.
what are the best ways? Let's start with the mortgage side. If they want to get
Sure.
in touch with you on the mortgage side, what would be the best ways to reach you?
Yep. So what's really nice is I have one phone number for both. And so and I try to pick up my phone. If I don't, it'll roll to the receptionist. She'll try to track me down. If not, she'll take a message. I'll call you back. So it is a cell number. You're welcome to text as well. The phone number is 480-206-8742. I'll say that one more time. It's 480-206-8742. And so that's my office number. And like I said, you can text it. It'll roll to the receptionist if I'm not available. And then for email, if you want to get a hold of mortgages, it's really easy. It's JULIJ @fairwaymc.com. So that's M as in mortgage, C as in corporation. So it's JulieJ @fairwaymc.com. Don't put an E in Julie. There's no E there. You won't get to me. If you want to check out my website, that's easy too. It's just julifairway.com. That's another great way to link to me. You can automatically go on and fill out your loan application there. And then with the CABI business, it is my name, Julie J. Doyle @outlook.com. And just really easy to get a hold of me that way as well.
Perfect. Well, Julie, the time just flies so fast when we do
Right.
these. I've enjoyed it. So I'm just going to kind of sum up. So if you are looking for a mortgage and or to refinance your house, and right now, if you haven't done that yet, you should. Then you should reach out to Julie for that. If you are wanting to update your wardrobe and get a few professional items in there, she's got fantastic tips and tricks and tools for getting you hooked up that way. If you're taking a giant trip and want to take a smaller bag, you can call her for that too. And if you want to learn more about an adoption journey or how you can support some charities that really do support life and adoption, Julie'd be a great resource for that as well. Julie, I'm just so grateful for your heart and for your
Oh,
friendship and for the chance that we've had to get to know each other and all the
it's
tips you
been
share for
wonderful.
business.
Yeah, I do.
and
I definitely have enjoyed our time together. And thanks for asking me to do this. It's a real honor to be on here with you.
Well, thank you so much. And so that does wrap up our time for today on Monday Noontide. I'm Heidi Thompson, your legacy lifeguard with Lifeguarding Legacies, where just remember, just because you think you don't have an estate plan, you still have a plan. It's the state's plan. And if you don't want the state making all of your decisions for you and for your family, please reach out and let's get you a will or trust that really meets your family's needs. Um, Thanks so much. And join me again next week on Monday Noontide. Have a great
See you then.
week. Thank you.
Bye.